Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ghazi and I love building cool web apps while keeping things simple and efficient. Today I'm going to walk you through building a full stack project with React and Node.js. We'll be creating a simple React app that takes a URL from the user and generates a preview of that link, kind of like what you see on social media when you paste a link. So we will use Vite to set up our React.js project because it's fast and easy to work with, especially with TypeScript. For our backend, we'll use Express, body parser, Cheerio, and Axios to fetch and parse the HTML from the URLs and extract the title, description, and image. So by the end of this video, you will have a fully functional app that can generate link previews. It's a great project to understand how front-end and backend work together seamlessly. And if so, I'll show you what we are going to build, and then we'll start with that. So this is the application where we have one input where we'll input our URL and we can generate the preview of that. So let's take any input, not this, not RSS XML. Let's go to any URL. Let's take this, and if I paste it, paste enter, and I have my preview of the URL. So now let's take another. Let's go and take my URL, and if I paste it, I have this. So the title, the description, and also the image. So this is the project which we are going to build, and this will be powered by Node.js and React.js. So if you are ready, so let's start. Let's start with creating a project with Vite. Project name would be link reviewer. I think this font is good. Okay, yeah. So now we will use React, and I'll use normal JavaScript. Let's keep it TypeScript. Okay, so our UI is ready. Let's go to that project. So if I see here, I'll have all the Vite.js things. Let's open that on an editor, and let's pull that here. Yes, so we have this. Now we have to run npm install once to install all the libraries which we want. We will use Tailwind and ShatCN for beautifying the UI, but before that we will create the backend first, and then we will go ahead on the UI. So let's just add our backend. So let's do one thing. Let's go to the editor and create a folder for server. Here we will keep all our server folders and server files and everything. So we'll keep it here only. And to initialize, we'll go inside server, and let's initialize a project with okay. So this is okay. Now I'll install some libraries. First is Express we need, and we need body parser to enable the JSON in body, and then we need Axios to fetch the URL, and then Cheerio to get the URL data and make it in HTML, to load the HTML and then pull out the data from it. So this is why we'll use Cheerio, and just install it. Perfect. Now let's go back to editor. We will have our script folders and everything, packages and everything here. Let's update the script. I think I need to increase the font here, so I'll just increase that first. Let's do that. I think this is okay. Yeah, this is good. And now let's add a px nodemon index.js. I'll use JS for my backend. Not going to use TypeScript and all. And let's create an index.js. And now let's add our API first, and then we will use that on our front end. So let's do that first. Import express. Then we need body parser. Then we have our Axios. Then we have Cheerio, which is this. Perfect. Now create our app. Yeah. Add our middleware for body parser. That's it. So this will enable the JSON in our body. So we could be able to get the request body from that. So that is why we have I've used it like this. And now we can actually create our APIs and write our logic over here. First, let's do one thing. Let's add a server. I'll maybe give it a path of, or maybe port of. Let's add port here. Process.env server port. If it is there, if not, then it will use 5000. So this we will add in our environment file. So that is why I have named it as server port, because we are keeping server and UI client in the same folder. So we will differentiate it with this. Okay, so now we have to pass the port, and then we have our server ready. Just log it here. Perfect. Yeah, so it will log this for server. Let's just run it, and then we'll see. So let's run that npm start. This should start our server. I think it is. I think it did. Let's add one API, or maybe make it get method. That will be much better. And let's say I add health. Maybe here it will be request response, and we will just return back. Yep, status up, or maybe server running. This should be there. And the API got failed because my 5000 is already in use. I think I am not running anything, but I think my 5000 is used in some default apps. I don't remember which one, but let's just change the port and let's see. So yeah, 5005 is running, and also we'll confirm 5005, no docs, nothing. It's just that cannot get. Why cannot get? Let's see why it cannot get health. We are actually, there is no default API. We have to call health. That is why it is saying cannot get, because we don't have any default API for that. So that is why it is giving. And we got our response. So server is running. So our server has is started. Now let's add our API, which will actually call that. So I'll define my API in index, but I'll actually use that in another function. So I'll just create another function, URL, maybe controller JS. So I'll keep it here. That will be much better. Let's take it from here. Yeah. And also then we have to we'll just create a function over here, and then we will export it. So get preview data, get URL preview. Okay, here we have request and response, and in request we will get our URL. I'll not be taking the code from my from Copilot. I'll just disable that. I use it for my in my work actually, to get the work done quickly, because I know what and where I have to use. If I copy code from somewhere, then also I know where to use it. So that is why it is good. But to explain it, and I don't know who will be watching this video. So to explain that, I'm not using any AI for generating the code, so that it will be I can explain, I can write the code completely, and I can explain that. So that is why I want to do this. We so here we have to we will call that API, call that URL. We'll fetch the details from URL, and then we load the HTML, and we'll extract the data from that data, that URL basically. But we also have to do some validation for URL, like it should be of email URL type. So for that we can use we could use some libraries like Zod or something. So we are not using TypeScript, so we cannot use Zod, but there are other libraries like JOI or Yup. So I think I can go ahead with JOI. Yeah, this is also a good library for validations and all. So let's go to the documentation and let's see, not the GitHub, let's go API. Yeah, so here we have a lot of functions provided. So we have to actually validate the URL, and we will do it with, we'll go to string, and then we should have something for URI. Some get or get HTTPS. Yeah, I think this is it. This is what we want. So let's first install this, and then we will use it. Okay, so let's go to the GitHub. Let's pull the name. Okay, it's just JOI and nothing else. Let's see Yup. I think Yup is also a good library. I've used JOI also, I've used Yup also. So let's see which one is better, and then we can go ahead with that. Let's check the documentation, because we are only checking for one. So I think we don't have to do a lot of things. I think Yup is good if we have just simple URL and all. So let's use this. Let's remove JOI and install Yup. It's Yup. Remove that, npm add Yup. Yeah, it's a small library as well. And then again, I'll just start my server, and I'll go ahead here. Let's use it, and yeah, okay. And let's define schema. Let's go to the documentation and see how we can define it. So we can actually we need to give it as an object, and then we can find this, and also to parse or to check, this is to cast, right? So we can actually validate, right? Returns the parses and validates an input value, returning the parsed value or throwing an error. This method is asynchronous and returns a promise object, and that is fulfilled with the value. I think this is good. So let's use this. Now let's add, maybe I'll take it like this, string. So I need object and then string. Let's create it like this. URL would be string dot URL, and it will be required. Yes, so this is required field because we need that. We need URL, right? Now add a try and catch block, because that this can also throw an error, and also we might when we call the API, we might get some error from that API also when we call that URL. So we will handle that in our catch block. So that is why we have used this. Now let's pull out our URL, or maybe I can just pass the request.body, because we'll have object of URL in that. So let's check the documentation, like how we can validate. We can just use this schema.validate. Okay, value await schema.validate request.body. Perfect. So we have this, and let's see what we will get from here. We can get value.url. Okay, perfect. If everything goes well, we will get the value in that value directly. Yeah, so now we have the value, and we have the URL. So let's add it with let's now call the API. So I will actually now I will call this, and this will call value.url. Here we will get data. Okay, and so now I will actually use it with this. I will load that in Cheerio. So now Cheerio will give me the HTML of it will actually extract all the HTML, because we are calling a URL which is a website, right? We don't have the API. So when we call any URL which is of a web page or anything, so we get the HTML from there, and that HTML would be as of string. We cannot directly use those HTML. It will be stringified version of that. So Cheerio will actually help us to extract values from that stringified version of HTML. So this is why we will this is how we will extract all the values. Now I'll extract first we need three things, right? We need title, we need description, and then we need the image. So we will first extract the HTML, and for that we have to check the meta tag if we have property of title. We cannot use two single quotes. Title, if it has, then it should return the attribute of the content. So if you see any HTML, let's open one HTML. Let's open my website and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here is the HTML of my website, and it is not very prettified because it is generated from Next.js, so that is why. But we are targeting what? So we are targeting meta description. We are targeting this title or meta title, right? So I should have a meta title also in my website. We have meta Google AdSense. Okay, this is the description, OG description. Yeah, title. Here I have this OG title, or I have actual title, and same way I have meta description. So description we can add it with one type only. So we have to add a meta type of that meta tag with name, description, and then the content with that. So this is how we are taking it. So if I'm currently targeting as meta tag of title, so that is why I'm taking content of it, so that I can get the actual string value of my title. Also similarly, we will take images of that. So I think it should be from OG image tag should be there. So like this is the URL, and here I think the images, yeah, this is the image. If you see here, so yeah, this one, the OG image. So this is what we are targeting actually. So now let's go and add those. We'll fetch those. So if we get OG title, it is good. So I just forgot OG colon title. If we have that, we will take it from there, the content. If not, so we also have a title. So websites actually have the title tag, right? We have title tag, so we can directly target that, and we can take the text content of it, because title tag actually is title is a semantic tag, and it has the content as a string. So we can directly take the text value from that. So we don't have to take the attribute of it, because it is not a meta tag, it is actually a tag, and it has the value of text. So that is why we can directly take it from there. And then we will take description. Description would be similar to this. So let's add this. Okay, and now I'll just add a description. And similarly, if we might get into some scenario like we have OG description but not the description, and we have only the description but not the OG description. So OG is the open graph, where we have to use it for all the websites which we want to be able to get the preview on our social media. When we share on social media, it actually generates the preview, right? So similarly, we are doing the same thing here, and that is why we will first target the open graph value of those tags. If not, then we will take the semantic tags. So that this is how we will be using it. Now we want image. So image also we want similarly. So image would be OG colon image. If not, so here is the catch. So if not, we will take the first image of the website. So whatever first image we have, so like img is the tag, and then we will take the first child of it, not the girst, it should be first. And then we will take the attribute, because image has the attribute of src, right? So we have to take the attribute src. So this will give us the value. So if any website does not have any image associated for open graph, but they have some website, like say I have a blog where I have featured image, but I have not added it in open graph. So I could just take that first image as my as a preview, and then I can show it on my on my link previewer. So that this is what we are actually doing here. And now let's create an object, because it will be good if we create an object, because we actually might get into scenario where we don't have the data. So we will add something like this. So we'll work on the fallback thing. So title, similarly we will do it for description. So in case we don't have any I mean, not the open graph value, not the semantic value, so we'll just give this. That will be very rare, but again, when we create any application, we have to take care of all the edge cases. So this is why I am doing this, so that we have all the cases covered. Whether it be small, it is a small application which we are creating now, but we should take care of the basic things which we actually do when we create a large scale app also. So in the coding we have to take the server and the architecture and infrastructure may be different for all the applications as per their need, but we should follow all the coding guidelines, and we should take care of all the edge cases when we create something. So here we will now return this JSON. It will be preview data, and then again we will pass the status would be 200. If something goes wrong, we will just return status 500 for now, and will not do anything else. But if we get error in my in this if we get error in this, then how we can handle it? So let's see what error we are getting from yup. Then we can actually, we can do something. We have to add for if let's say the URL which is sent by user is not correct, in not in the correct format of URL, so then we should not take care of it, right? We should actually tell the user that this is not the correct value, and user should actually needs to do something, and user needs to actually send data in correct format. It is not in correct format, we have to tell that to the user, right? So first here let's just console log it, and we will see if by sending the value, and we'll see how it works and what error we get. Now let's get oh sorry, yeah, I just forgot to export that. Exports and get URL preview, import it here, URL controller. Okay, so now I can add this URL would be this, and then I can pass my controller. So this is the controller, it actually accepting the request and response, so everything is handled here. And then I just added a URL, associated this controller with this URL, so it will be called when this controller will be called whenever I call this preview API. So now let's open Postman, and we'll check here first, and then we can actually use it. So my port was 5005, and preview, let's go ahead and post it. Very nice, it did not work. Let's see why. Okay, I got this error, not found. Why it is not found? URL controller cannot find module URL controller. Why? Oh sorry, should be like this. Yeah, if I see my API is getting called, and what happens? So it is actually trying to get to the API. Okay, I got the error. Yes, I got the error. The API is waiting at the catch block because we are not returning anything, right? We haven't returned anything, so this is why it was waiting for it. Let's add it here, and maybe, or just pass something went wrong. Now if I call it, I got something went wrong, but in console we will see what went wrong. So we got this as an error. Yup, error we have received, URL is required field. Okay, so this was the error which we have received, right? And the error actually has the object of add this, right? Validation error, not contains, includes. If this includes this error, then I will actually return the status of 422. This is the status code, HTTP status code for the wrong data type. So this is what we will use, and also we will send the actual message, and that message we can get from the errors array in the error, right? Let's go back to code and error dot errors. I think it is coming up inside this only, so I'll just let's run it again and let's see. No, something went wrong. Something is not working. Okay, so actually what we can do is we can just remove all this. We don't need actually. I'll remove this also, and we'll remove this, we'll remove this, and it should be of instance type. We can actually check this, like it should be an instance type. I mean, yep, actually gives the type of the error. So if we have this validation error, so if this error is instance of this validation error, then we will send this as an error message. If not, then we will return a 500, like if it is a server error and we have to fix it. So this is what we will be doing. For 422 is for the bad request. I mean, it is not the correct format of the value which is accepted to the API, and hence we have to fix that. So this is what we have to do. And now if I run it, so I'm getting the correct error, I'm getting correct status code. So now let's add a correct value and see how does it look. We will add schema, and I'll actually take my website name, my website URL, and I'll paste it here and we'll send it. So it actually gave me the error, something went wrong. So let's see what went wrong. I have removed the console log. That is why it is not giving me the error. Let's see. So here Cheerio load expects a string. Okay, expects a string, and we got this error. Okay, I have missed await in here, so that is why the error was. So let's now check. So I've got the values, so home, description, and then the image. So this is what I have, and this is now working. Actually, I've just missed adding await here, because we are requesting an API, so we have to await. And as we were not I have not added await here. It was taking it as a promise response, so that is why it is not I mean, await promise which was not completed, so that is why that error was. And now we have the API ready. Let's now add our front end to it. So let's go back to console terminal, and let's open a new tab, go back to the actual UI, and now I'll just add TypeScript and all. So let's do that. Let's go ahead, go to chatcn. Here it will give me everything I need. Installation with Vite. Okay, I've done this step. I need to add these. Let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Perfect. I have to add this. I think, yeah, I have used TypeScript for front end actually. Yes, so let's go to ts config. I think it was saying to ts config, right? yes, tsconfig, and I'll add this compiler options. Perfect. So okay, perfect. Now let's go back. I've added this, right? I have added this tsconfig. This was the same, right? Base URL paths. Yes, it is same. Now we need this. Do I need this? Yes. Okay. Add this also. Add types nodes, and then I have to update the Vite config. Let's update that. Vite config.js. Just do this. Now what we need to do, now I have to just initialize my shared CN, and I'll do it here. It will initialize it. TypeScript, yes. Default, yes, yes. App.global, do I have app.global? No. src index.css. This is actually in Next.js. When we use Next.js, we have app and app underscore app slash globals.css, but here we have src and index.css. Yes, I'll use this. Okay, yes. Component alias, yes, alias would be same. Alias would be same. I'm not using server component. Let's write it. Let's see. The files are, yeah, the files are correct. Now let's add some component which we need. So let's do this. Let's do this. Add a button, card, and then I need an input to take the input. Then I need a skeleton to show a bit of loader. That is why I think it is good. Now I'll just add it. Yeah. Now let's run this. My app is ready. Let's go to the code. Remove this, remove this, remove. My API thing is done, so I don't have to work on it. Now I just have to add the main part, and yes, this is okay. Perfect. So now let's go to app.tsx, and I'll add that on main page. I don't have to, do something else. It is a very small thing, so we'll just add it here only. And also, like, it is a very simple application, so I'm not actually going to do something which is, like a React query or Redux toolkit. I'll just use normal state of React, and I'll do my work. So this first I'll take it as a boolean, which will be for loading state. Then I need one more thing, which is the type of my data. So I'll add also that, where I'll save my data. First it will be, initial would be null data, and then set data, right? I have to call this. So this would be there, and then I also need an option for taking the URL from user. So this is what I want. Now let's create a type. It is a small type, so I'll create it here only. Data type. This will be title, it will be string, then description, and then it will have image of string. So everything will be string. Let's add it here. It could be of type data or of type null. So if null, we will not show the card. if we have, we'll show the card. So this is the bare bones are ready. Now let's add some class here. I will actually give that minimum height of screen. I'll give that flex column. I'll give it items center. I think this is okay. I will also give it mx auto. Okay, mx auto and padding of 10. This is good. I think it is good. Don't have to do a lot of things. I'll also give it width of half for bigger screens. Otherwise, it will be full. Okay, so this is okay. Now let's add an input. Let's add that, and also I will add my button. This is also from my chat.cn. I'll give it name of generate, and this will have a placeholder. Placeholder will be enter URL. Okay, enter URL, and what more? I think this is good. This is good. Let's add a chat.cn form component that is actually good for validation and everything. So I'll add that. I'll create form from that. That actually helps in, you know, doing the validations and everything. So I think that will be much better. So let's come up here. I can remove it from here. Actually, I need to not import but create a schema. Schema would be z.object. Z I have to import. Zod. This will be Zod object. String and will be URL. And that's it. Form, use form, and use form will have a resolver, which would be Zod resolver. Pass the schema, and then default value should I keep? Yes, I'll keep, no problem. URL is blank, or I can just not give it a default value. I'll just use it like this. Now this will be my form. Form will have a class. Yes, it will have a class of flex with full gap of 2 and then items center. I think this is cool. Now I need to add it from form, add the form fields, which will be name, URL, control would be form.control. Here I have to give render, which will take field and then it will render field item. It will take input, but not here. It will take it inside form control, and it will add a for message, right? And then I'll just pass the field here inside this form. I have to wrap inside the form component, which will be from cn, and this will take this form. Now I think it is much better. I have let's see in the URL. First let's comment. Okay, so this is it, but this is not taking full width, I guess. Let's see that. So this is actually not taking the full width. We have to give it full width. I don't need this now. I'll just close my Postman. This does not take it. Let's go. This has flex and then width full. This is good. This is, I think, good. Why does it not taking full width? This one, if I give, yeah, now it take, yeah, it is good. It is good now. Okay, so just one thing I have to set here now is the type of submit, and now I have to add my on submit handler. So this actually takes, I have forgot to do the infer of type. This will be of type schema. Okay, and this same thing I have to pass here. This will expect values. This will actually get values and it will be of type schema. So same thing I'll do here. Add the try catch block. Also add a finally block. I need it. Why? I will tell you. Because we are actually doing this, so I'm setting the true. So irrespective of error or success, I will have to set, when the API is actually called and everything is done, I have to set that false also. So I'm doing it in finally condition. So if I have so in that case, I don't have to write here for false and inside the catch also. I don't have to do that. So that is why I want to do it like this. Here I'll just console the error. So whatever error we get will happen. I'm not doing anything that sort of. I'll just suppress it. That is also not working. So let's remember do that. Okay, so now we have to call our API, and for that I'll just do it like this. Wait, Axios get my API is $5,005, and then I have a preview, right? Let's import Axios also. So I have this Axios, and here I'll get data. I'll get this here, and I will just add the data to this data to my state. Okay, I think this is good, but again, this is not a get API, this is a post API, so we have to send our APIs, and I can actually directly send the values, because this values will be an object of URL, but with object which will contain URL, so we can actually send it like this. I don't have the Axios installed in my front end. Let's add that. Okay, yes, perfect. Error, yes, gone. Error gone. Let's use this in here. I have to pass on submit, but not directly. It will be form handle submit, and inside that I will add my submit. So if you want to see how to use Shatcn form, I have another video where I have briefly explained how we can use Shatcn forms, and we can create our forms with it. I will add that in I button, so you can get that, and also I'll add that in description, so you can get to that video. So this is okay. This is fine. Now let's add my uh, card for that. Yes, the preview card. So I'll add those cards here. So if loading, then I will show skeleton, but not do that. I'll have to actually create a component for that. So I'll actually create a separate component which will have the skeletons. I mean, it should look good, right? So I'll use that. So now I'll actually create a shared folder where I will add a preview component. Okay, inside that, or I can not just create a folder, I'll just create a preview component directly. Okay, and this will be export preview. The prop type would be same of this, so let's export it from here. This will be the same prop type, data type, right? Here we'll get title, description, image. Okay, perfect. Now we are not doing any manipulation over here, not managing any state, so we can directly create a return of divs. So I'll just do that. I have added my card. This card will take padding of 6, because in Shatcn UI on the card component we don't have padding from top, but from all the other sides. So I'll just give the padding from top, and card content I already have. Let's go to Shatcn first, and let's see if we have something for image separately, so that we can use it. No, we don't have it. No problem. Let's use this. Let's use these for inside card content. No. So let's see how does it look. Remove this. This will be title, and this will be description, and here in content I will create my image tag. This will take image, and all tag would be preview image, or maybe the title of what we already have. So I'll just pass the title. Okay, I think this is cool. Now let's use this. If we have data, then display this, or else don't display anything. Title would be data.title, description would be data.description, image would be data.image. That's it. Okay, so I think this is good. Now let's see. Okay, this is coming up, no problem. We will handle that also. Is loading condition also we will handle. First, let's see if that works or not. If we generate, oh, nothing works. So let's see why. I will see Axios error. Okay, this is okay. So sorry, CRS is not enabled. So let's enable CORS policy as well on our backend. So let's go back to my backend, add a library. I will not add anything separately. I'll just use this library. This is good. Let's come up on index. CORS app dot CORS. I think now it should work. Yes. So I have this, but image is not working. Let's see why it is not working. So image URL I have got, and that has a bad image, bad request. Okay. Okay, so my website image is not working. Let's take any blog of mine and let's say if that works. This was the latest blog. Let's see if that generates image. Yes, that did. This has the image. And on my main website, I think main page, I haven't added that. That is why the image is not coming up. So this looks good. Now let's add. Let's beautify that a bit, and then we will move ahead with our um, loading condition. I forgot what I was trying to do. So let's add a margin bottom to the form. It will add it there. So yes, this is what we have. This is the title. Then this is the container. Okay, I have the card title. That is why it is taking padding from top also. So let's just remove that. I don't need it now. So this is coming up correct. Okay. So I think this is actually looking good. Now let's add the container skeleton. Let's add a skeleton. Let's go to here. Let's add it like this because this is much better. Let's copy this. Copy this and create a new file. This will be loader.tsx. I'll just pass it like this. Name it. I have this, right? I have component skeleton is not taking it from here. No problem. Now it will take. So okay, so this is also there. So now if I have loading state, I will just call my loader component. Okay, so now when we call my API, so this is actually working very fast. That is why we are not able to see that. I will show you. I'll show you like this. I'll just comment it, remove the conditions, and let's see how does it look. So this will look like this. Okay, so let's add that again. And also we will do one thing here. When we are actually submitting, or when we have the data, we got the data back, let's add set URL to blank. Okay, oh sorry, not set URL, because now we are controlling it from form, so we can actually set value for URL like this. That's it. I think this would be okay. Or we can actually reset the form. So if we add another input, or any another input, so it will handle everything. So I think this is much better. So now if I generate it like this, it is but it did not clear that, right? Did not clear it. It should actually clear, but did not. Okay, so I think that is not a problem. Let's just do this. You can actually see that in my another video where I have handled all this condition. So that the value, okay, I'm taking it from here. That is why it is taking. Let's take it. So now this works fine, right? So I have this, and this is good. This is working nice. Let's take another website. Maybe I'll take something from here. Let's take this blog, paste it, enter, and I have the values. So this looks good, right? This actually looks good. So okay, fine. Also, I'll remove the previous data. When I'm fetching the new data, I will first remove the data, and then when I got the new data, I will add it here. So I think that way it will look much better. So let's open another, or maybe let's go to my website, take this URL and paste it here. Yes, this looks good. Now again, if I go here, and it is looking good. Okay, so we have achieved what we wanted. So guys, if you like this video, please do like, share, and comment. Please do share this video with your friends and comment your thought on the video. And please do tell me, like, if I was able to explain you things better, and if there is anything I can do better. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, let's see you on another video. Thank you. Bye.